Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the asteroid Juno in astrology. Well, in a natal chart, Juno position that could represent or reflect a significant other marriage partner. This could be a person that you may have a very strong, sustained, and protracted relationship with. One in which the partner will be very loyal and steadfast, and you very well at the same time. A relationship that could be very stable, consistent, and persistent, which could be distinct from the Venus placement because the Venus placement can be represent the person that you may strongly desire and want, but not necessarily the one you require and the one that you need. So anyway, another thing about it is too, I want to get with my placement of Juno by sign and by house. Now I have Juno in Aries in the 12th house. Now, Juno being in Aries, well, this could indicate that I may wind up perhaps marrying somebody that has Aries prominent in their chart, sun, moon, or ascendant, or it could indicate that I may marry somebody that embodies Aries-like characteristics. And it's interesting because when I was engaged in 1989 to somebody that had the sun sign Aries. Thought that was very interesting. Also, her ascendant was very close to my sun in Cancer position. Interesting as well. Now back to my Juno being in the 12th house. Well, at the same time, I may marry somebody that may be in Aries sun, moon, or ascendant. Aries like characteristics, that someone embodies Aries-like characteristics, but in the 12th house, it could at the same time I need to be wary because it could also wind up being somebody that could be like a hidden adversary or enemy, may not have my best intentions at heart, or it could simply be somebody that's very spiritual and or into the metaphysical, someone that I have to show maybe a lot of self-sacrifice to. And maybe even in some cases, the person might have certain limitations and restrictions, might be a debilitated person. So I have to look at that as well. Now, also in the chart, look and see the aspects that your Juno makes. Interestingly enough, my Juno makes a very tight conjunction to Ceres in the 12th house. So the fact it makes the conjunction to it indicates that I may look for somebody that's very conventional, very orthodox. And being an Aries, perhaps the person that I marry may be somebody I might show nurturing to, perhaps by standing up for them, by fighting for them, which would be very Aries-like, of course. Now, also keep in mind that Juno in astrology, of course, it's a little bit different than, say, your 7th house cusp and your 9th house cusp, because your 7th house cusp, okay, that could represent simply just your first marriage partner if you do marry. Now, the 9th house cusp can represent the person that you may have the second marriage to, that is if you do marry a second time. So but the Juno position can be that person which you really feel have that strong connection to have that sustained and very consistent connection with in a very protracted relationship with that one that you may actually require and need. So anyway, what I want to talk about too is I want to give an example of how, okay, you could have the 7th house cusp blend in with the Juno placement in terms of the person you marry. Now, someone I knew some time ago, okay, this is very interesting. He has his Juno position in the 6th house in Sagittarius conjunct Neptune. He also has the zodiac sign Capricorn on the 7th house cusp. Now, he married somebody significantly older than him. The person he married also was debilitated, had some health issues, and was somebody that was very, to the best of my knowledge, very religious, very spiritual. So I thought that was very interesting. It seemed like in his case the Juno position, by sign, by house, by that aspect it made, coupled with the sign on the 7th house cusp, very well blended in together. So I thought that was very interesting. So when you're looking at marriage in your chart, look at your 7th house cusp and look at the Juno placement as well, of course. So anyway, another thing too is that you also want to look at transits to Juno. Now, let's say if you have transiting Jupiter makes a conjunction to your natal Juno, of course, that could be very fortuitous for marriage if you are not currently attached. Now, if you are, let's say you do have that marriage partner, significant other, and you have Jupiter, transiting Jupiter making a conjunction to your natal Juno, well, that could still be very advantageous and beneficial to your marriage. It could be a very happy period for that, and you might come into some good luck or good fortune in connection with that marriage partner / significant other. Now let's take a negative or adverse transit. Let's say, as another example, that transiting Saturn makes an adverse aspect to your natal Juno. Let's say transiting Saturn makes a square in conjunct or opposition to your natal Juno. Well, this could be a period where one may feel overwhelmed with responsibilities tied in to their marriage partner if they are married or have a significant other. Now, if the person is unattached, it could indicate perhaps a lot of laborious work and effort in trying to attain that significant other, but maybe really little results to show for it. So anyway, last but not least, I want to talk about Juno in transit. Now, it's interesting, like with me right now, I have transiting Juno in my natal 9th house, and Juno's in Capricorn now at the time of this video. So what's interesting about that is that, okay, this could indicate that if I was to marry now during or in very recent time from now, or very close period to now, that would mean that could indicate perhaps that I may marry somebody abroad, somebody from another country, and also someone that could be very orthodox, very conventional, somebody that's very serious and very mature and that will take the marriage very seriously. And it could also be somebody that might be very religious and philosophical at the same time, if it were to happen during the time that Juno in Capricorn would be transiting my 9th house. So, and just remember, you could apply that, apply Juno transits to your own house. And so anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the asteroid Juno in astrology, and stay tuned next time where we'll begin my series on Juno in the signs. The first video will be Juno in Aries, and followed by Juno in Taurus, etc. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.